G'day folks, it's Rob here and welcome to a little bit of a winter update in our front yard and backyard farm. Today I just wanted to also go through some house cleaning with you folks. First off, we do have a competition, a guessing competition going at the moment through our website. It's basically guess how much ginger we have or we will be harvesting. Some noisy trucks. We will be harvesting from the soil patch out the back, so stay tuned if you want to see how you can enter. Up for grabs are 2 lots of root pouches packs for you folks here on YouTube, and there's a separate 2 lots of the same pouches up for grabs for you folks over on Patreon. So yeah, if you want to learn how to enter, just hang around and you'll find out soon enough. Secondly, the house renovations. A lot of people have been asking me. We are getting closer, folks. It just takes time, unfortunately. All the plans have been drawn up, they've been engineered. We've also had a relaxation given to us from council because we want to build a little bit closer to the neighbour's fence line, and yeah, they didn't mind either. So that's all done. Now the plans are with the builder, and he needs to give us a quote, and then we can hop on down the bank and get back in debt up to our eyeballs again, start all over. So hopefully, yeah, that will be finished off, or that process will be finished off by the end of July, and the bus has just pulled up out the front of the bus stop and he's off again. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be renovating within at least another 6 to 8 months. We will have some ground broken here, so to speak, and yeah, they'll start concreting the new slab and all that sort of stuff. Very exciting. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And another thing, I've had a few complaints from the folks who have subscribed to us because they're seeing too many photos in their feed from my community tab. One the other day that caused a couple of complaints was my little lighting rig for filming inside, just a couple of El Cheapo LED lights on my mobile phone just so I could film the mushrooms. I'm very sorry folks, but I will be continuing to post photos to my community tab, and if you don't like it, I suggest you just unsubscribe and just click on the videos if they interest you when you see them in your home feed here on YouTube. It's just an easy way for me to keep you folks up to date with what's going on without having the pressure of having to do the videos as well as everything else I'm just doing at the moment, just leading up to the renovations. So now you're all caught up, we'll have a bit of a look at what's going on out the front here and a little bit of a harvest I want to do, and then we'll nip on out the back and I'll fill you in on the ginger comp. So I stuffed up yesterday and didn't press record on the camera while I was doing a bit of a walk around here, so I've just popped out here this morning. I did take off those bananas from the plants out the front here and also harvested a couple of head of broccoli. So there you go folks, there's the little nannies, and as you can see there's that one split one there, and there's another one over the back here as well, just down in there that's split, so they'll be munched on this afternoon and tonight. And a couple of heads of broccoli as well, so these guys will go in dinner tonight. With this broccoli, I tend to not buy it out of season. I really do prefer eating it fresh. There's just something about the broccoli, you let it go until it's just slightly loose. The heads are just starting to open a bit, and I just think it's got a lot more flavour to it than those tight little rock hard heads that are slightly rubbery that you get from the supermarket. But I thought I'd just give you a bit of a look at everything else that's going on. These bananas, we'll start with them. They're actually sort of overtaking this corner here to the point that they're almost growing against the fence with Pauline. So I'm going to have to cut some of them back just so, you know, they don't get too much in her way more than anything. The other issue we're having with them is they're shading out those 2 corner beds, as you can see. It's just before midday here, and that far turmeric bed, which I'm surprised is still growing, is pretty much all in full shade, and the bed next to it isn't getting much either. Early in the morning it doesn't get much at all. North is pretty much round about that direction, straight ahead, and the sun at the moment, being winter, is setting pretty much all just round about there. So these beds in the corner, these 2 in particular, don't get a lot of sun at all. They will be pulled out eventually once we work out what's going on with the front of the house after we renovate. Just to give you a bit of a quick look at these cauliflowers here, the cauliflowers haven't done too well, these ones especially, mainly because the Bacillus thuringiensis, or the dipel spray I pop on them, isn't really sticking to the leaves. I know they recommend you don't do it, but I'm thinking about mixing some horticultural oil to them just so we can get some better contact onto the leaves themselves, because the last thing we want is to lose all the other cauliflowers to bugs like these guys. They've just gotten right into the head, the caterpillars. They were the little army caterpillars. So we probably could rescue those heads, or the other option is to leave them here as a bit of a sacrificial crop. Also in this bed we have a load of the Warrigal Greens, and Ian, I'm sorry mate, I am looking for those seeds for you still. I need to get some seeds off to a patron who is after some of these. In this bed we also have some ground cherries or caped gooseberries. I have no idea how they got into the bed. I think these guys might just be left over in the soil from plants we grew out the front here, or hitched the ride in some compost I used to feed up this bed. The broccoli over here, you might be able to see down on the leaves, they got some white powder residue. That's the Bacillus thuringiensis, or the dipel. It actually manages to stick to the leaves of the broccoli, so we don't have much of an issue. And yeah, this is where I nipped off some of those heads yesterday. And you can see the little side shoots down in there as well. Pretty much all the plants will end up getting these little side shoots, and they'll form future harvests down the track. It's one of the beauty of broccoli. Once you take off the main head, you've got all the side shoots yet to come through that you can harvest. If you want to know more about growing broccoli, you can check out that little clip up there. It's back to front, it shows harvest and then how we grow it, but yeah, it'll give you a bit of an idea. Over in this bed here, this is one of 2 cauliflower beds. This second bed is one that I grew the sweet potatoes in, that with last week's clip that I harvested. And this one here is the old Rosella bed. So this one has 6 white cauliflowers in it. They were popped in here after it was fed up with a bag of compost. And the same with this one over here, another bag of commercial compost, because I don't have any on the go at the moment. This bed here has a mix. There's a green, a yellow, a purple and a white variety in here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. All these guys as well came as 2 plants in a cell, so I didn't try and split them up. I didn't want to damage the roots too much, so I've just popped them in there, and hopefully I'll be able to look after them well enough and give them enough nutrition that they'll survive and do quite fine, doubled up. Just to let you know with these brassicas as well, not so much this bed here, I might pop something in here, but these other beds I tend not to grow a lot underneath them, mainly because, as you can see with this this broccoli bed here, there's 6 plants in there and the sun doesn't really make it down to the soil very well, so I tend not to plant anything underneath them. If I was in a larger bed with fewer plants I may, and you can see a little warrigal green down the bottom there, and that's pretty much all it, other than a little amaranth over the back here that is self-sown, and some weeds over there, but we won't look at them. So yeah, I don't tend to plant anything with these guys. Just over here I'll give you a bit of a quick gander at the asparagus. The asparagus is starting to die off slowly now, things are starting to cool down, but yeah, come spring she should bounce back nicely. And I do have a weed Chinese Celtis that's popped up behind that bed there, so after the asparagus dies down a bit, I might chop into that and get rid of it. So just down the back here, and here's our moringa tree, and you can see a couple of seed pods just up in there. So she tends to lose all the leaves through winter here, but this plant actually needs to come out because the builders will need to run their bobcats down on earth moving equipment down the back here. So we've been told this bed here needs to go, the blueberries and also the bananas there, they need to go, but I'll explain that in a tick. And the Vegepod here needs to be moved back against the fence and closer to the fish tank. So yeah, that's something I've got to do before the builders start. The Vegepod, by the way, is doing really well. The garlic has taken off. I filmed a bit of a clip showing how these guys went out, and I'm very happy to say that the little plants in the corner grown from the bulbs on the stem of the garlic, one of them is shot, so I'm pretty happy about that. And the rest of the plants have all shot. I think in the last clip, or the last time I mentioned these online, there was 1 or 2 that hadn't sprouted. I have had a bit of an issue with the lid falling over and just bending over these 2 plants there. I just haven't really been putting the lid down, mainly because it's it's winter here. It's not that hot, the sun's not that harsh, so I'd like these guys to get as much sun as possible. And I've just been watering them with the hose, with the sprayer, rather than using the irrigation system inside the Vegepod. By the way, for you folks in Australia, if you want to use this little discount code, bits out the back that's on the screen here at the moment, you can get 10% discount on the Vegepods themselves over on their website, link in the description. And you also help me out. I get a little bit of remuneration from the Vegepod folks for pointing you in their direction. So check that out if you're interested in the Vegepods. And down here, the powder blue blueberries, they're starting to set some flowers, but I've been a little bit of neglectful with these guys. I've only been giving them a bit of a liquid feed, but I found that compost is just working much better. So I really should feed these guys up with a bit of compost before we move them. And the same with the banana trees here. This one's actually got an aloe vera growing in there as well that's flowering at the moment, but these guys need to be moved. And down here we have some purple Congo potatoes. I need to keep this variety going here, so I found some spuds I'd hidden in some coconut coir under the house and they went out. So hopefully we'll get a small harvest from there. Yeah, but other than that, the rest of the patch down the back here is going so-so. We've got our Ponlai ginger is still growing up the back there. It's starting to get a little bit yellow. You know, things are getting cooler. The Australian native ginger is still growing and in fact putting out new growth. And now onto the ginger, if I can just move my shadow out of the way. The ginger here has done really well for us this season. This is the one we're running the competition on. Basically, you've got to guess the weight of the plants in here. There's a link in the description you need to follow over to a website and it gives you all the instructions. Do not leave your answer down here because you won't be entered into the competition. But basically there is 8 plants that I'll be weighing out of this garden bed. The average weight of a ginger plant is between 800 grams and 1 kilogram. I will let you know though that I have stuffed up. There's actually 9 plants in here. I was reviewing the footage while I was looking for stock footage for the clip, the upcoming harvest clip, and I noticed that this plant here is a ring-in. It's the 3rd one that I forgot I planted. So I'll actually be pulling that out before I do the harvest, just to let you know, I've got to be honest, I'll be pulling that out before I do the harvest and I won't be including that in the total weight for the competition. So you're still trying to guess the weight of 8 gingers that are in this bed. So just to give you a bit of a look, some of them are rather large and yeah, this one here's actually still got some active growth on it. Over here, this one here is another nice big one. So just to give you some idea, and there's a little bit of a clip over on the website showing you a closer look at the size of the plants. As you can see, these plants, you know, because our winter's so mild, I could just leave them in here and they'd re-sprout during spring. The only problem is I want a bit of a harvest out of here, and I've got some honeypod peas and other bits and pieces I'd like to plant in there. As for everything else, well, the aquaponics is still going strong. Can't really complain about that. Even though it's got no fish, it's still getting a little bit of growth out of there. We've got some beetroot I'd like to pop in there. And yeah, the rest of the plants are looking all right. Should probably start hooking into that chard again. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a wander around the patch, folks. And don't forget, if you do want a chance of winning some root pouches by guessing the weight of the soil ginger, don't leave your answer down in the comment section below. Follow the link in the description over to our website and follow the instructions there. It's just a lot easier for me to yeah, hold the competition through the website. And remember, there are the 2 packs up for grabs for you folks here on YouTube, and also another 2 packs for you folks over on Patreon. So suss all those links out down below. I would like to thank those marvellous folks over on Patreon for helping to support the channel, and entering little competitions like this is one of the added bonuses or the added perks that they get for helping to support the channel and me also creating the website. So I will keep you all updated with what's going on with the renovations through either photos to our community tab or other videos posted here to the channel. And I'm actually thinking about doing a from planting to harvest on the ginger as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that if you're interested in seeing how we grew this awesome batch of ginger. I will pretty much all leave it there though. I do hope you're all well and happy and your own gardens are booming, and I will catch you next clip. Cheers folks, and have a top one. It's not one vehicle, it's another. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a... Now it's a lorikeets.